transfer to Manchester United now.
Football predictions.
If Power Rangers no, Ipswich Town 1.
Football predictions.
Hello, it's Peter Guest, and I'm here with the Moose for another episode of the footballpredictions.net Ligue podcast, covering matches from the 2nd to the 4th of May 2025. And you can see the details for all the matches we're about to discuss. If you click in the description, we have links so that you can go through to footballpredictions.net, where you'll also find fixtures from just about every other football competition that there is.
Yes, and on our website, it'll show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels, plus video streaming services, as well as team news and match odds from local bookmakers. Look in the description of this podcast episode for direct clickable links to all of the matches we are about to discuss. If you're streaming any matches on Bet365, geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18 plus gamble aware.
We kick off with Nice, who are in 6th, taking on Rennes, who are 13th in the Ligue table. It's on Friday the 2nd of May. It's at 7:45 UK time in the evening. And of course, click the link in the description of this podcast. You'll be able to find your local kickoff time odds, TV channels and streaming services. And this one you can watch on League One Pass. You can also watch it streamed on Bet365. To qualify to watch that, all you need is any funds in your account or to have placed a bet with them in the last 24 hours. You can sign up using the bonus code FP365. Now, Nice last week came up against PSG and they won.
Yes, what a result for Nice that was. PSG probably had their mind set on the Champions League fixture against Arsenal. But anyway, to beat PSG, that was the PSG's first defeat of the season and a very important win for Nice in the fight for the Champions League spots, because they're now just a couple of points off Lille and 1 point off Monaco there. So they're keeping track of those teams. There's only 3 matches left in League One this season, and yeah, every point counts in that top fight for the Champions League spots. But yeah, what a win that was. We had over 3.5 goals, so our main prediction was in. Outcome debatable, but Nice in the last home game against Angers, because that was their second win in a row at PSG. They beat Angers the week before. We had 3-1, ended 2-1 Nice, so outcome and both teams to score. At Strasbourg, we had a both teams to score prediction. As a score draw, we had 2-2. It ended 2-2 in that game. Sorry, our prediction was 1-1. I'll just correct that. But that was a both teams to score prediction and a draw. So yeah, predictions looking good on Nice. They play Hans here, who sits in 13th and who's picked up a little bit of form as well of late. Last week, maybe a little bit disappointing. They went to Montpellier, got a 0-0 draw, but they now have 3 clean sheets in a row. They've only lost 1 from 6. Don't forget that before they had that win at home to Marseille, which was a great win for them, they had not won in 15 games in a row. So no wins in 15, and now they won 3 from the last 5. So they're looking pretty good. Hans, just 1 defeat from new 6 as well. And yeah, it's taken them away from the drop zone and the relegation playoff. They got 5 points down to Havre, who sits in 16th. And with just 3 games to go, they seem to be looking good for the money for another season in Ligue 1. Now, in terms of some of their most recent results and our predictions, we had in their last home game an under 2.5 goal prediction against Toulouse. Hans won that one 1-0. And if we look at their away form, they've been pretty good of late. Like I said, no defeats now in 3, and actually managed to keep a clean sheet in all of those. So that's pretty good. But yeah, last time out, 0-0 at Montpellier, not the greatest result. And up against Nice, it's going to be a tricky one. A Nice team that needs to win probably more than Hans down the bottom.
Yeah. No, it will be a good game, we think, this one. It'll be very close, despite the positions in the table. And so we've actually gone for, these sides usually do score. I know we had Rennes just getting the 0-0 draw in the last one, but like I said before in the previous podcast, law of averages, they should here. So we've gone for both teams to score for this. Odds are 1.77 for that. And we think, however, that Nice will get the win at home. I mean, they've done well. They'll be pretty buoyant after winning, I mean, they beat PSG away as well. So that was even more remarkable for them. So they'll be happy with that. We think it'll continue here. 1.42 you can get for a Nice win. So not really high there. Odds on favourites to win. But we've gone for a 2-1 home win. So for a correct score, you can get odds currently at Bet365 of 8.5. Just taking you through the other odds. Lions to win is 7, a draw 4.5. And like I said, a Nice win 1.42. So make what you will of those predictions. Next, we have Strasbourg, who are 7th, taking on PSG, who are bound at the moment for the Champions League final. We'll see what happens with that. Kicks off on Saturday, the 3rd of May, 4 p.m., and you can click the link in the description of this podcast and you'll be able to find out your local kickoff time, betting odds, and broadcast streaming channels tailored to you wherever you are. This one, of course, you can stream on Bet365. To qualify for that, all you need is any funds in your account or to have placed a bet with them in the last 24 hours. And by the way, use the bonus code FP365 when you sign up. Well, Strasbourg have been on just a great run, really. I know they had a couple of draws, but in terms of not being beaten, though, PSG better watch out.
Yeah, really great run from Strasbourg. In fact, they've only lost once since November, and it's taken them right up into the top of Ligue 1. I say top, they're 7th, but they're only 4 points off Marseille 2nd. There is just a 4-point gap here. They're equal now on points with Lyon in 6th, with Nice in 5th, and just 1 point off Monaco in 4th and 2 points off Lille in 3rd. Like, Strasbourg has really made some strides to try and get them into those European places. And you do feel a little bit for them at the moment because they are sitting in 7th, which will mean that they would be outside of the European spots. But they got a fairly good schedule, and we say that they're playing PSG, but they then have Angers away and Le Havre at home in the last game of the season, although those two teams are fighting it out for that relegation playoff. But anyway, Strasbourg and Liam Rossini has done a great job there. They won the last game. That was a home game as well. It was against Saint-Etienne. We had 3-0. It ended 3-1 Strasbourg in that game. So yeah, 3-1 win. Those two draws that you just mentioned yesterday, those were against Monaco and Nice. So 2 teams above them in the league table. Important note there. Before that, they had a run of 5 wins in a row. But yeah, overall, they just look in very, very good form. If we look at some of our predictions, we've actually had some really good ones on Strasbourg. That home game against Nice, we covered it before. We had a score draw in that one. Away to Reims, we had a 1-0 correct score prediction on Strasbourg. We had a both teams to score prediction in the 4-2 home win against Lyon, and the outcome against Toulouse, where we had Strasbourg to win as well. So some really good predictions here on Strasbourg recently going into this game against the PSG side that, of course, comes from that Champions League semi-final win at Arsenal, and their eyes will probably be on the return leg in the Champions League because they are playing Arsenal already again midweek next week. So on the 7th of May, they have that return leg against Arsenal. And why we say they might have taken their eyes off the ball a little bit was, of course, because they had their first defeat of the season in Ligue 1 at home to Nice last weekend. They lost that game 3-1. We had over 3.5 goals as our main prediction, and we won't talk about the outcome prediction for that one. But yeah, going into that Nice game, we had both teams score prediction at Nantes. Don't forget that was a draw. So actually, PSG now, which is quite unusual, haven't won in the last 2 games in Ligue 1. The last win was a home win against Havre. They won that one 2-1. We had 3-1 as our prediction, so outcome and both teams to score. But yeah, we are thinking that this could be a very entertaining game.
We do. It's one of those games which is strange. End of the season, PSG have got nothing to play for in this Ligue 1, Ligue, and obviously be resting players or just, players will be taking it easy. We know how good they are because they've secured the championship so early, and they're doing really well in the Champions League. Actually, it's like watching Barcelona of 10 years ago at times. They're just like a complete team. So therefore, let's Strasbourg get a bit of a way into getting something from this match. Will they get the win is a question. But I'll tell you one thing we do think is that both teams will score. And I think the bookies do as well because the odds are only 1.37 for that. But something perhaps a bit more interesting and quite realistic now is a draw. And that's what we've gone for here. So we've gone for a draw 3.75 are the odds you can get for that. So fingers crossed, if that works out, we could be quite happy about that. And correct score-wise, even better, we've got 2-2. And it would be nice to see an entertaining game. And 2-2 will currently get you 11 odds, or 10-1 for your money if you want to place a bet on it. The other odds for the game, so this is how tight it is, 2.45 for Strasbourg. So they're slight favourites because PSG are 2.55. So there you go. And like I said, a bet on a draw, you can get odds of, well, actually, you can get odds of, just for the draw, it's 4. Did I mention that before? I can't remember. I thought I said 3.75. So it depends on the bookmaker you're looking at. But yeah, some of the odds that are out there between 3.75 and 4 could be interesting. Next up, we have Toulouse, who are in 12th, taking on Rennes, who are 11th. It's on Saturday, the 3rd of May, 6 p.m. kickoff. That's UK time. And of course, you can click the link in the description of this podcast and you'll be able to find your localized kickoff time, odds, TV channels, and streaming services. You can watch this one on the Ligue Pass, but you can also stream it on Bet365 without the subscription. And to qualify for that, all you need is any funds, just like £1, $1, €1 in your account, or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Sign up with the bonus code FP365. Now, I know that Toulouse in 12th and Rennes in 11th, but there's only one side that's been winning of late.
Yeah, Toulouse really has not been in great form. They've not won in 7 matches now. And in fact, since the 12th of January, they've only won 2 games. Those were 2 away games at Angers and Havre, late February and beginning of March. So yeah, they're really not used to winning at Toulouse. And no clues in the name there.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
But at the end of the day, they are 7 points above Havre in that relegation playoff. They really have not got a lot to play for. It almost seems they got the job done just before Christmas, where they were actually on a run of 6 wins from 8, or 2 defeats there in that sequence, which was at PSG and Monaco. So they were in good form, but yeah, coming back into this year, just 2 wins overall, although, they did beat Lens on the 5th of January. But yeah, now no wins in 7, and they have conceded quite a few goals during this run as well. They've taken some heavy defeats there. A 4-2 home defeat to Brest. I say heavy defeats as they conceded quite a few goals. 4-2 home defeat to Brest, 3-2 away to Marseille, 2-1 at Lille, 2-1 at Strasbourg. So yeah, conceding quite a bit, and combined with not having scored in the last few matches as well, it's not boding well for Toulouse going into this game against Rennes. However, we think that it might work out a little bit different. Rennes, don't forget, last weekend they took a big beating at Lyon. We had 3-1 Lyon. It ended 4-1. So both teams to score and a Lyon win in that game. Rennes, the home game before that, we did predict their win. So we had 2-1. No, we had 3-1, ended 2-1. And we predicted their win at Havre. So our predictions on Rennes has been fairly spot on. And yeah, the outcome of this one may surprise our listeners a little bit.
Yeah, well, one thing's for sure, we have been predicting low-scoring games, haven't we, for Toulouse? Like you said, we had under 2.5 for the last game. We got that. We had under 2.5 for the previous game to that against Rennes. We got that. And similarly for Rennes, we got them in the last game over 2.5, didn't we? We had both teams to score actually for that, but actually over 2.5 if you look at it, 3-1, and it was 4-1. And similarly, the game before that, exactly the same. So we're pretty good at predicting these. And for this one, we've gone for an under 2.5 goals game again. So let's see how that goes. But 1.91, that's the odds you can get for under 2.5 goals. But, we're talking about, the form and everything, but form doesn't last forever. And at some point, teams got to turn it around. And we think this will be the game where Toulouse do that. So it'll be Toulouse to win. I love saying that. And the odds there are 2.1. So they're not odds on to win, but they are not that far off. So 2.1 for a Toulouse win. And just a correct score for you, 1-0 is what we're going for. You can get odds of 8 for that. That's 7-1 in fractional. So the other odds, curiously, 3.4 for a draw and 3.4 for a Rennes win. So actually, Toulouse are the favourites to win this, but we think they'll get the job done, but just. Next up, we have Saint Etienne, who are 17th, taking on Monaco, who are fourth. It's on the 3rd of May, 8:05 in the evening UK time. Check the link in the description. You can click it and you'll end up on our page, and you'll be able to see your local kickoff time, betting odds, and available viewing options. This one's on TV5 Monde and League One Pass in the UK, but you can also stream it on Bet365 to qualify to watch. All you need is any funds in your account or to have placed a bet with them in the last 24 hours. Use the bonus code FP365 when you sign up. Now, St Etienne are 17th in the table, not doing very well at the moment, but they've only lost one in the last 3.
Yes, Saint Etienne, they're still in with a shout for surviving in League One this season. They just have 3 points up to Angers, but they only have 3 games left now to accumulate enough points to at least get into the relegation playoff. Havre just 1 point ahead of them in that relegation playoff spot. So plenty to play for here for Saint Etienne going into this game against Monaco. The only problem Saint Etienne has is that their run of form has been terrible. They only have 3 wins since late November. That means a run of nearly 20 games, so 19 games and just 3 wins. However, 2 of them have come over the last 6 games, picked up 7 points from their last 6 matches, which is quite important. That's kind of given them a bit of a lifeline, and they have been able to do a few shock results in here, because that last home game returned a win for Saint Etienne. That was against Lyon, who sits in 6th at the moment, pretty much on point with Monaco, just 1 point off Monaco. So really strong side. And Lyon, going into that game against Saint Etienne, was actually on a pretty good run of form themselves. They'd only lost to Strasbourg and PSG, but won the other 8 or 10 out of their 10 games prior to that game. So anyway, that was a strong result for Saint Etienne, but Saint Etienne then went to Strasbourg last weekend and lost 3-1. But yeah, the home form, they got that win against Lyon. We had both teams to score in that game as our main prediction. And then they had a 3-3 draw against Brest at home. And yeah, the home game prior to that was a 6-1 thrashing against PSG. But this was at a time where PSG still needed to cement themselves their championship. It's a bit of a mixed bag for Saint Etienne when they are playing some of these better teams at home. But yeah, it's a good result against Lyon. Will definitely have given them a little bit of hope. But if we do look at Monaco, I mean, Monaco really are right in the middle of this pack of 6 teams going for the Champions League spots. There's only a 4-point difference. Monaco right in the middle of 55 points, but they have 3 teams below them on 54 points. Any slip up could mean that they will drop out of the European spots altogether. And they're doing their best. Well, let's say they're doing their best not to, but they have only picked up 1 win from their last 4 matches now. Last weekend, disappointing draw away to Havre, who's also fighting for their life at the bottom of the league. We had both teams to score as our main prediction in that one. They then had a 0-0 draw against Strasbourg and a 3-0 win against Marseille, which was a great result for Monaco. That was a home win. But then again, away from home, a 2-1 defeat at Brest. And generally speaking, away from home, Monaco has not been the greatest. They have only 1 win recorded in the last 10 away matches in Ligue 1. And that was against Angers, so a team similar position to Saint Etienne. But again, a 1-1 draw last week against Havre, also in a similar position to Saint Etienne. So a tricky one to predict, but still we think there's going to be a clear winner.
Yeah, we do think there's going to be a clear winner, but just let's have a look at some interesting stats. And that is, if you look at Saint Etienne, they've been scoring goals. So, in fact, the only time in the last 6, they scored 5 out of the last 6 games. They even scored when they got thrashed 6-1 by PSG. The only time they haven't scored is when they're playing away, and that was against Lens. They lost 1-0. But every other game, they've scored at least a goal, scored 3 goals against Brest, and a couple of goals against Montpellier. So they tend to score. So hear me out. I'm going somewhere with this. We think it's going to be both teams to score. So the odds there are 1.47, okay, for both teams to score. Slightly better than you get for a Monaco win, which is only 1.44. I mean, they're not, both of them, they're not great odds, are they? But still, this is what we have to predict and we think is going to happen. So Monaco to win 1.44 is what we think as well. And our correct score for this one, and this will be better if you enjoy a correct score bet, is 1-3 So it'll be St Etienne 1, Monaco 3, what we think. You get odds of 10 or 9 to 1. So maybe that's a bit more interesting, but yeah, it should be a fascinating game. Next up, we go to our summary games. And we've got Nantes in 14th, taking on Angers in 15th. It's on Sunday, the 4th of May, 2 p.m, kickoff, UK time. And you can watch this one on Ligue 1 Pass if you have a subscription to that. Otherwise, you can stream it live on Bet365. And to qualify for that, of course, all you need is any funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Sign up with the bonus code FP365. Now, for this one, we've gone for both teams to score, and we think it'll be a home win. We've gone for a correct score prediction of Nantes 2, Angers 1.
Yes, moving on till Sunday at 4:15 UK time. We got a Lyon in 5th to take on Lens in 8th. And this is another game that you can watch live on Bet365. In order to qualify, all you need is to have a funded account or place a bet in the last 24 hours. Use that bonus code FP365. Now, for this game, we are going to go with a home win at both teams to score prediction and a correct score prediction of Lyon 2, Lens 1.
Next, we have Brest, who are 9th, taking on Montpellier, who are 18th. It's on Sunday, the 4th of May, 4:15 in the afternoon, UK time. You can watch it on the Ligue 1 Pass, and you can stream it live on Bet365. And to qualify for that, all you need is any funds in your account, as I said, or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Use the bonus code FP365 when you sign up. We think this one might be one-way traffic, and we've gone for an over 2.5 goals prediction with a score, a Brest win, with the correct score of Brest 3, Montpellier 0.
Yes, and then we have another Sunday 4:15 kickoff. So this is Sunday, 4th of May, 4:15 UK time. We've got Auxerre in 10th, takes on Havre in 16th. Now for this game, we are going to go with a low-scoring game, so under 2.5 goal prediction. We're going to go with a home win for Auxerre and a correct score of Auxerre 1, Havre 0.
Finally, we have Lille in 3rd, taking on Marseille in 2nd. Should be a good one. It's on Sunday, the 4th of May, 7:45 in the UK on Star Wars Day, as they call it. And for this game, you can get our prediction here and, of course, on our website. We are going for a great game. I mean, it's 2nd versus 3rd. And we're going to go for both teams to score. We've gone for a narrow home win. We've gone for Lille 2, Marseille 1. And of course, that one you can watch on Ligue 1 Pass, but you can stream it as well on Bet365. And just a reminder that live streaming, use the bonus code FP365 if you join Bet365 if you're not with them already. And to qualify to see any of those games, all you need is to have any funds in your account or to have placed a bet with them in the last 24 hours. Geolocation and live streaming rules apply. Full details are available on the Bet365 website, 18 plus gamble aware.
Yes, and in the description section of this podcast, you'll find links to the games we've just covered, or simply head to the footballpredictions.net website. On there, you can have a look at all of the online places to watch the games from your location via streaming and TV channels, team news, our predictions for different betting markets, plus the latest offers and odds.
And we don't just podcast on Ligue. We also record podcasts for other competitions as well, and you can listen to them all on podcast.footballpredictions.net. And you can also get them where you often get your other podcasts from, like Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. That's it. Thanks for joining us. And until the next time, it is
Au revoir.
au revoir.
Football predictions.